So today I'm going to talk about the insurance space, how you get paid in the insurance space. Like, how do you get paid in the insurance space from A to Z as a producer and also as a leader? Because you see a lot of leaders, a lot of people running sales agencies and stuff like that are making a lot of money. You also see a lot of people that are just selling life insurance and making a lot of money. How the heck does that stuff work? I'm going to expose it all and explain it all today. Okay? Just for context, calling out of my parents' house right now. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm currently at. Calling my parents' house. This is their kitchen. Okay. I live in Miami, Florida. I'm visiting for the holidays. Okay. Now, just to be a disclaimer to everybody, two things. First is I'm qualified to speak on both of these things because in 2024 I made well over $500,000 as a top producer in sales. And that was with just solely producing, just as, selling life insurance as an agent. 2025, we had actually the fastest growing sales team, and I am now a millionaire at 24 years old from growing a sales team. We're gonna do probably triple the production in 2026, so we're actually looking to add on new people and be able to be a part of that because we are going to triple in 2026. But without further ado, let's jump into it. What is virtual sales? What is selling your sell? What is the life insurance space? How do you make money from it? Want to break that down just so that way people have a clear understanding of it, because I know that whenever I started this, I didn't know how we got paid. All I saw was people making money and they were young, and that was enough for me because I saw somebody making money and he was my age and I was like, if he can do it, there's no reason why I can't do it. So that's what made me get into it. But I know that if I had a clear understanding of how the industry worked and what to optimize whenever jumping into it, so that way you wouldn't waste time doing things that didn't push the needle, then I would be a lot further along than where I'm currently at. Mind you, I'm 3 years in and I'm a millionaire. Thankfully, I'm 24 years old due to the life insurance space. For that, I'm obviously very grateful, and we have much higher aspirations and goals to accomplish at the time of filming this, which is December 27th or 28th of 2025. But no further ado, I'm going to jump into it. Here is exactly how the life insurance space specifically works, how that space works in terms of pay. So the way you get paid is based on commission. And this is an agent level. So there's really two huge ways to get paid. There's the sales route, doing sales, right? And that's one way to be able to get paid a lot of money, Now, the other way to get paid a lot of money is to have a team or have an agency or have people basically on your team. You could call it under you. I don't personally like that terminology because that insinuates somebody's less than you. I don't like that. I work with you. I don't work over you. I'm not over top of you. I work with you. I have goals for you, that you told me, and I want to see you hit those goals. I want to see you have success. Ultimately, of course, that helps me as well. If you help somebody climb a mountain, then you'll look up and you'll realize you've climbed the mountain yourself, right? But back to it, there's two different routes. There's a sales route that you can really focus on. There's a leadership route you can really focus on. There's both a lot of money to be made in either route. They're both lucrative, okay? Just for context, I am qualified to speak on both of these. Reason why is I was the #1 producer in 2024 based on our agency, and then in 2025 we have actually the fastest growing sales team. So I'm able to speak on both of these. That's how I was able to get to where I'm currently at right now, is by doing both those things at a high level. With that said, just some context, I am going to be a little bit biased because I'm a leader, as I just exposed. So I do believe, after doing both routes, I do believe the leadership route is not only more lucrative, but it's more fulfilling as well. The reason why is because as a sales producer, you are still trading time for money. As in, you could be the #1 producer, but you could only make so many sales. We don't cap commission whatsoever. You can make unlimited money theoretically, but the problem is not that you can make unlimited money theoretically. The problem is that you don't have unlimited time. If you work 12 hours a day, let's say you get 6 sales a day working 12 hours a day, killer. Okay, but you're not going to be able to ever get 12 sales a day only working 12 hours a day. It's just that it's a time constraint. You're trading time for money still at a very high level. And yeah, you can make 500,000 plus being a top producer annually. Take home pay, not deposits. Take home net income profit. No money spent on leads. That's what we're special. We don't spend any money on leads, so we don't flex random deposits. Oh, this is a $30,000 deposit. Nobody cares about your deposits. People care about what your net income is. We have net income. That's what we show. That's why you see the supercars. That's why you see the watches. That's why you see all that crazy stuff, because we get net income. We don't spend any money on leads and stuff like that. Anyways, back to it. That route is capped. It's capped based on your time. Now, what is nice about it is that you have freedom. Okay, so I'm going to kind of show you all the benefits and drawbacks of each. And then after showing the benefits and drawbacks of each, you'll start to get an idea of how you get paid. That'll kind of be blended in there, but then I'll give a real breakdown of it after that. So you understand the benefits and drawbacks of each. That whenever I explain the pay, you know what to look at. So benefits and drawbacks of each. Benefit, of being a top producer is you do have more time freedom. Drawback is that it is not that scalable, and also it's not that fulfilling. Why do I say it's not fulfilling? Yes, it is nice to provide protective services, financial services to somebody that is in need of it. Okay, you're a single mom, 3 kids. Yeah, if you die, your kids are going to be crap out of luck in terms of finances, obviously. So it is nice to provide some sort of protective financial services to those people because it serves a common good and you get paid from it. There is some nice feelings that you get associated with it, but it's not fulfillment. But you get to pick whenever the heck you want to work. You can work wherever you want, whenever you want. That's dope. If you tell me you can get paid, doctor income plus and do it from anywhere at any time you want, that's still really dope. That's still a really good thing. I'll take that all day. But you are trading time for money, so it's not that crazy scalable, and you don't really get too much fulfillment. And the guys, I know because I've done it. I did it. So that's what I'm telling you, okay? Leadership. Leadership is 100% scalable because you're scaling people, not time. You scale people. And on that same token, there is huge fulfillment in leadership because you see people come in that are getting paid, like let's say $300 a week. Now, yes, we do also get people that come in that get paid, we have people that leave, a $250,000 job to be able to start here because the ceiling's so much higher. But let's just say, and it's fulfilling to see those people go from $250,000 to $1 million in income, for sure. But at least from a perspective of, okay, let's say most people aren't making that much money. Actually, 50% of America for individual earners make less than $50,000 a year, which is crazy. To see somebody that's say like making, $300, $500 a week, whatever it may be, and then to see them come in and okay, 1 year later now they're making $10,000 a week. That's a pretty good darn feeling. Okay, it's a pretty good feeling. And the reason why I say that is because you're literally transforming somebody's life, and you're with them every step in the way as they struggle and as they learn the sales process and they become a student of the game, and as boom, they get that sale. Okay, now they're getting a couple different sales. Okay, now they understand referrals, and they consistently level up in the sales game, and you see them go up every single way, and you're like cheering them along the whole step of the way, and you're like telling them different things to look out for and different things to do because you did it. That's a very, very fulfilling path. It's a very, very fulfilling feeling you get seeing other people win that you had a pivotal role in them winning, especially if you believe them and you think they deserve it too because of their work ethic. That's a hard feeling to take away. I've made a lot of money before and not had fulfillment. I've made a lot of money with fulfillment, and I'll tell you, doing it without fulfillment the whole time, you feel empty. You feel like the money you make is just pointless, and you don't understand where to properly direct your energy. You kind of drift in a sense. No meaning, no purpose. On the other side, making money with purpose is something that compounds. As you make money and other people are making money too, and you're seeing them win, you're like, man, I just solved a huge problem in the world, again, which is poverty, because 50% of America on individual earners make less than $50,000 a year. And actually only 10% of people make between $100,000 to $250,000 a year, 10% of individual earners, and less than 1% of individual earners make, I said 100 to 250, 100 to 350,000, sorry, 100 to 350,000, only 10% do that. And less than 1% of people make above $350,000 a year as an individual earner. I can show you and I can teach you how to become a top 1% income earner in America. That's fulfilling to be able to do that. That's a good feeling. That's like, okay, I have a purpose, I have a meaning, I have a reason to wake up every day, to go about my day, to be able to show up early for work, to stay late for work. Like I have an actual purpose because of a vested interest in other people and seeing them win. And you get fulfillment whenever you do see them win. So again, that's leadership. That's the purpose behind it. That's the benefit to it. As you can see, I'm passionate about it. That's why I switched over from becoming a top producer to becoming a top leader. Is that reason right there? Yes, also, by the way, it is scalable. And yeah, you can make a lot more money doing it too. Because if you show, there's no limit to how many people you can help. There's no limit to how many people you could show that and teach them that. Now, is everybody gonna have success? Of course not. This isn't easy money. Anyone that says, oh, this is how you make easy money is lying to you. They're lying for sure. There's no such thing as easy money, but it is for sure money. If you work, it works. Now, that's scalable. You can do that with unlimited people. Again, not everyone can have success with it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it is unlimited people that you can show that skill set to, but there's not unlimited hours in the day whenever we're talking about producing. Cool? So that is why you would do either one of those. Okay, again, I'm a little bit biased. Now, let's talk about, I'm gonna grab water right here. Still drink out of plastic water bottles. I wanna switch. But I don't know. I don't really believe the propaganda about the plastics, but then again, I don't know. I'm pretty easy to sway with that stuff. If I see like one article, I'll probably like never drink out of a plastic water bottle again. So someone sent me a plastic water bottle propaganda link against it. And you'll see me drinking out of the other ones, the green ones with the glass on it. All right, so how do you get paid as a producer? There's 3 different ways. First is with commission, second is production bonus, and lastly is with residuals. Commission's pretty straightforward. I'll explain it this way, all right? Let's say I make a sale in your life insurance company, okay? I make a sale, let's say it's $84 a month. You go, hey Marshall, you just made a sale. We're gonna pay you 1 year worth of that sale up front, 12 months. 12 months of that, we're gonna assume the client you sold, let's say his name is Bob, let's say Bob is gonna keep that policy for a year. We're assuming that, and we're gonna pay you based on the assumption that Bob's gonna keep the policy for a year, okay? Let's say you're on a 60% contract. We're gonna give you 60% of the commission for that first full year. Right now, here you go. Now, 2 things. First is, the average sale is $84 a month, so it's around $1,000 per year. That's called ALP, annual life premium, all right? $1,000 of ALP, of annual life premium, is what Bob's policy costs. I'm gonna get paid 60% of that upfront, just like we talked about, because the insurance company is gonna assume that Bob's gonna keep that policy for a year. So Marshall, here you go, here's $600, voila, cool. All is well, no problems whatsoever. Bob keeps that for a year, we're good to go. What happens if Bob cancels that, right? So if Bob cancels, which 90% of the time, Bob is not gonna cancel, just so y'all know. But if Bob does cancel, then I get what's called a chargeback. Now remember, we have free leads, we don't spend any money on leads. So it doesn't really matter if Bob charges back because it's house money anyways. Like my bank account balance can only go up, it can't go down. Free leads, no spend, right? So you can only go up. However, how it works is, okay, I got paid $600. Let's say Bob cancels halfway through the year. All right, well, I earned 6 months of that commission for sure, but 6 months of it I got falsely given. So $300 I got falsely given. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna take that $300 out of my future commission, like next week's paycheck. That's all it is. It's called a chargeback. It's not a big deal, especially whenever you don't spend money on leads. 90% of the time, that doesn't happen, okay? Now, again, 90% of the time, the person keeps it. So let's say Bob keeps it, no problem, cool. I got paid $600. All right, so the question is, how many times can you do that, obviously, right? That's whenever you become a top producer, is whenever you do that over and over and over and over and over again, whenever you're making multiple sales a day, every single day. Cool. That's commission. Very straightforward. What production bonus is roughly a 20% addition to your commission as long as you're hitting a certain sales quota. Currently, the sales quota is 4 sales a month. So if you're getting about 4 sales a month, then you're getting 20% added onto your commission. So let's say that 60% contract is actually like an 80% contract. So now we're at $800 of income per sale because it's 60% base contract plus 20% addition to the commission, production bonus, right? Boom, 80%. Now we're making bank per sale, 80%, free leads, just ringing in sales, okay? $800 per sale, boom, 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 just cycling it. The last way you get paid as an agent is something called residual income. And the way residual income works is every single sale that you make on average 5% residuals per sale. That's the average residual is 5%. So let's say, here's an example of this. This is the long game. Residuals is the long game. And let me actually just backtrack a little bit. What is it, residuals? Let's define our terms. Residuals are monthly, what it is, it's monthly income and it's passive income. Every single month that the policyholder pays on their policy, you get paid 5% of it. Every single time they do it. It's life insurance, so these people are keeping it for life. So, yeah, I mean, you just keep on stacking. You want to know the hint for that? Sell more policies. If you sell more policies, then that's how you're going to be able to add to your residuals. It's a waiting game. Now, let me give you an example. You want to be a top producer. You don't want to be a leader. Cool, no problem. All right, 10 years you're a top producer. You do $500,000 of ALP per year. Cool, let's say you make, cool $300,000. I just missed that water bottle flip. You make a cool, let's say $350 a year, okay? That's dope. If you do that for 10 years, 10 years of 500,000 is 5 million. So lifetime production, you did 5 million. All right. What does that mean residuals? 5% of 5 million, $250,000. That's what you would get paid annually every single year for the rest of your life. Passively. Could go to the Bahamas and sip on, pina coladas if you wanted to. Retire. $250,000 income per year, passive. Cool. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. That's a really good vision for a lot of people. That's like almost 1% of income, 1%, top 1% income on individual earners, and you're getting that passively after 10 years of hard work. It's pretty gosh darn good. It's a lot better than a pension or a social security benefit. Those are scams. This isn't. This is solid, okay? Now, that's basically an individual producer. That's basically what your dream is an individual producer. That's really what you want to get to. You ready for leadership? Let's do it. Again, I'm biased, okay? But I'm biased for good reason. I use Zens. I don't really swear too often. I don't drink. I definitely don't smoke. I guess I smoke cigars. So I use nicotine. And I get a lot of hate for it. Cigars, I understand, because those are carcinogens in them. Nicotine doesn't, in itself, is not a carcinogen. Those Zins in themselves don't cause cancer. You can fact check me, look it up. I was supposed to go to med school. Talk about that later. We're running out of time, so I'm gonna get back into it. Leadership, how do you get paid? Okay, so first of all, as a leader, you can always still make sales. So you get paid the exact same way based on your sales as a producer does. So you always have that revenue, or not the revenue, but that avenue available to you, okay? Now, what pushes the needle for leadership? Well, what pushes the needle is people having success. More people, more success for them. That's what pushes the needle. How do you get paid? You get paid based on how well your team does. Just like any other business, like Walmart, why does the CEO of Walmart get paid bank? Because Walmart does pretty good for themselves. Why is Elon Musk the richest dude in the planet? Because SpaceX and Tesla are very productive companies. Why is Jeff Bezos rich? Amazon's a great company. So you get the point. How do you get paid well as a leader? Just like any other business, if your business does well, okay? If you have people that are making money, that are having success on your team, you're gonna get paid really well also. Now, how do you do that? Be very clear. You have to lead well, obviously, lead by example. Don't be a piece of crap. Don't be manipulative. Look out for people's best interests, right? Lead based on other people's best interests and help them hit their goals. Encourage them. Don't boss them around. Encourage them. But also, you need more people too. Like, Amazon's Amazon because it's got how many freaking employees? You know what I mean? It's got a bunch of freaking employees. So in order to scale, you need a lot of people. You need an empire. But that doesn't mean you treat people like rats. It doesn't mean you treat people like they're not people. Like if you're just a good person, you're gonna look at everybody as an individual and treat them specially. The ultimate thing that you have to do is recruit more people, have more people on your team, and then look at people's goals and what their individual, goals are, and help them hit those. Like care for people and care for people hitting their goals. People can sense that. It doesn't matter how much you know. It matters. People don't care about how much you know. They care about how much you care. That's what they care about. So care for people and find more people. Now, that's going to lead to more production. More production means you get paid more. So it's a win-win. All right, that's simply how you get paid as a leader. Now, I can break down a couple more things. I'll summarize them. I'll put it in a different video. But I'm actually new to YouTube, so if I was experienced, I'd say I put the link right here. I'll get to that. We'll get that stuff done. And probably next couple of YouTube videos, I'll learn how to do that. But how do you get paid more as a leader, and what does that really look like? I'll give it this way. On average, as a leader, you get paid roughly 1/5 of whatever your total team production is. All right? Roughly. It's a good rule of thumb thing to do. I'll give you an example. If your team does 50,000 ALP per week, 50,000 production per week, what's 1/5 50,000? $10,000. That's what you'd make in income per week as a leader. Okay. By the way, I didn't just pull that number out of nowhere. That's actually a very average pay for a leader. There's a certain level of leadership in the company called an MGA. All right, MGA is pretty common terminology. An MGA, that's like somebody with a decent sales team, usually above 10 people on it. The average MGA gets paid $514,000 a year. So how do you get to MGA? I just told you. Find more people and care about those people. That's all it is. So let's say you have a team of 20 people and they're all doing 4,000 ALP per week. They're happy, obviously, because they're making six figures. They're making 100,000 plus. That's what I made my first year, by the way. I was thrilled to do that. And your team is doing 80,000 ALP per week because it is 20 times 4,000, 80,000. What's 1/5 of that? Well, that is $16,000 that you would make per week in income. It's quick math. $16,000 per week in income. How do you do that? Again, you have to recruit people and you have to care for them. But that's fully scalable as well. There's also other ways you get paid as a leader, including more residuals. It's not a higher percentage or anything like that. It's a small percent. It's 1.5% on average. But you got to think, let's say your team does 10 million over the course of a year. Well, 10 million over the course of a year, 1.5% of that is $150,000. Let's say you do 10 million for 10 years. That's 100 million that your team's done in total. 1.5% is 1.5 million, so you could get paid 1.5 million residually every single year for the rest of your life by being a top level leader and doing that for like 10 years. That's crazy. And I said no one said top level, but that is upper level, but there's people that do 100 million a year, let alone over the course of 10 years. They do it in 1 year. So maybe that expands your vision, expands your thoughts on how you can get paid millions of dollars in passive income over the course of 10 years. That's a really good project to dedicate yourself towards. And that's aside from all the active income that you make, which we just talked about. Like if your team is doing 50,000 per week and you're getting paid 10,000 per week in income, if your team's doing 80,000 per week, you're getting paid roughly $16,000 in income, so on and so forth. Of course, that's 100% scalable as well. You could have 10,000 agents if you wanted to. It's just a matter of getting there. But that is summed up how you get paid as a leader and how you get paid as a producer. Both lucrative routes. Again, I just feel like leadership is more scalable and also has more fulfillment. But don't get me wrong, if you like flexibility and you like freedom, producer route's for you. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you send a comment. Tell me what you want to hear about, what you want to learn about in the insurance industry. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.